This is my father. He is 327 years old and has been transgender for the last 200 years. Do you have any advice for the baby transes out there? Wow, let's go hit that again.
There are a lot of people on my For You page right now saying, oh my God, guys, this variant of COVID must be really, really bad because this time I feel so sick, or this time my sickness is lasting so long. And I just want to remind you guys that scientists and doctors have been warning us that COVID does damage. A lot of that damage is irreparable, which means the more times you get COVID, the more likely you are to develop long COVID, and the more likely you are to have a very serious bout of illness. I'm not surprised if this is your third, fourth, fifth time having COVID, that this time it's really, really bad. That's likely to happen. And of course, I don't say that to shame anybody who's sharing their experience with COVID this time around. Please do remind people that COVID is an illness, a bad one, and it sucks. Just also make sure, please, that you are wearing a mask and you're doing everything you can to prevent yourself from getting and spreading COVID.
My name is Matt Nelson, and I'm about to engage in an extreme act of protest. We are all culpable in the ongoing genocide in Gaza. We call ourselves the greatest nation in history, yet we spend more on weapons of war than we do on educating our children, helping the homeless, ensuring all Americans have equal rights, and protecting the environment combined. We are slaves to capitalism and the military-industrial complex. Most of us are too apathetic to care. The protest I'm about to engage in is a call to our government to stop supplying Israel with the money and weapons it uses to imprison and murder innocent Palestinians, to pressure Israel to end the genocide in Gaza, and to support the ICC indictment of Benjamin Netanyahu and other members of the Israeli government. I urge any of you who are of the same mind to call your senators and representatives and demand that they introduce and advance legislation to achieve these goals. If sitting lawmakers won't, vote for those who will. A democracy is supposed to serve the will of the people, not the interests of the wealthy. Take the power back. Free Palestine.
I'm finished hanging out now. I'm gonna leave. Okay, this was a good hangout. Thank you for coming. Yes, of course. Maybe we can hang out later in the week if I'm feeling up to it. Okay, yes for now, but I might be feeling a little too tired by then to still be in the mood, so be on standby. Okay, sounds good. I'll see you when we're both feeling like it.
You know when a phrase is so well known that you don't even need to say the whole thing because it's just implied through common knowledge? Like when in Rome, you don't need to say do what the Romans do because everybody knows that's what comes next. Same with if the shoe fits, or it takes a village. The second clause is unnecessary because it's completely understood. This particular kind of sentence is called an anapododon, and I think they're very interesting because people will tell you they're grammatically incorrect, even though we do the same thing with individual words all the time. Like hippo being short for hippopotamus. You don't need to say potamus, everybody knows what comes after hippo. Same with sax for saxophone. And at a certain point, we stop thinking about the rest of the word entirely. Nobody remembers that the cable in cable news was once short for cablegram, and the same is true for some anapododons. I only just learned that speak of the devil has a second part to it. But if anything, it's very natural for language to evolve this way because we always trend towards more efficient methods of communication. In linguistics, we call this the brevity law. The more frequently something is said, the shorter it tends to become. As we say these words or phrases more frequently, we will simplify them and forget their other parts by following this principle of least effort. And it's all through this shared understanding because great minds.
If you ever forget how corrupt the criminal justice system is from top to bottom, remember that a few weeks ago, a judge decided that it was the actions of Breonna Taylor's boyfriend that led to her unalivement and not the police officers who walked into her house in the middle of the night and unalived her in her sleep. And if for some reason you feel like that's a one-off event, then know that a few days ago, officers in DC responded to a crash. When they arrived, they found the driver unresponsive in his car. When looking in the windows, they also found a weapon. And so instead of getting him any type of medical help or asking if he was okay or doing any of the logical things, they pointed their weapons into his car, said, "Don't reach for your weapon or else we will shoot." And when he reacted to the weapon in his face, he did just that, and they shot him 10 times. And if that doesn't do it for you, then know that just earlier this week, a young black man from Illinois was found hanging in a tree in North Carolina. Authorities are trying to say that he did this to himself arbitrarily in a state that he is not from, despite the history of black folk and trees in the South. All of this has happened in the last couple of weeks, some of it happening just this week, and yet none of it can seem to break through the news cycle because we are busy focused on an election between a career politician and a man who is currently too busy genuinely telling people that there are black immigrants eating household pets, and we are laughing about it. So in case y'all forgot, the system is corrupt and cannot be fixed. It needs to be dismantled, and it's still BLM, because just because people have moved on from the trend doesn't mean that the need has gone away or that the horrors have stopped.
Slip me in your pocket. Chicken away out. Oh man, was that your last piece? Come on, we both wanted some.
What am I doing? What's this called? What's this called? No. What's this called? What's this called?
Sock.
What's this called?
Plant.
How many finger?
4.
What's this made of?
Cork.
What's this made of?
Glass.
What am I doing?
4.
Can you do big bird? Good. All right, 3 more. What's this called?
Ball.
Touch the smaller ball. Yes, good job. This is the smaller ball. What's this called?
Bottle.
Oh. Okay, Apollo. Touch Soleil. Good. Okay, girls, you get a snack for that. That was very good. What's this made of?
Rock.
What's this called?
Plant.
What's this called?
Plant.
So there's some video, this video, of a sun bear. It hit social media. People have been claiming that that's actually a person
In a bear
in a
obviously
horrible
a person.
bear costume.
What?
You know what it is? It's the legs. Furries know this, and now you have to too. Here are the styles of mammal legs. You have plantigrade, you have digigrade, and you have unguligrade. Plantigrade is our type of feet. Basically, the heel is on the ground. Digigrade, named after digits, like toes, essentially means you're walking on your toes. You see over here, the yellow part of the human foot? That over here corresponds to the yellow part of the dog foot. So dogs walk on their quote-unquote toes, and their equivalent of a human heel is all the way back up here. Unguligrade legs are like legs with hooves, and they walk on literally their nails. You can see the brown part here corresponds with the toenails of the human foot and the claws of the dog foot. So the nail, the hoof, touches the floor and everything else becomes part of the leg. What does this have to do with bears? Bears walk plantigrade, like us. Their heels touch the floor. Bear legs and human legs have a lot in common. So when a bear stands up, it kind of looks like a guy in a bear costume. This is why dancing bears were popular and cruel circus acts, because you could teach their legs to move like our legs. And when you combine the skeletal structure with the sun bear that has a very thin coat of fur, you get a bear who kind of looks like a dude in a bear costume when he stands. It's because his limbs are a lot like our limbs.
I always liked how anime hair was drawn. It was cool to realize that I could actually sculpt my natural into those shapes as well. Because to be honest, I used to be really shy of my natural hair. And that's why I create these styles now, to show how awesome coily hair actually is. I wouldn't want to be born any other way than what I have. And that's the best feeling after going natural, especially when you know exactly how to handle your hair and you actually realize that maybe my hair isn't actually hard to handle at all. It's just that I don't know to do and how to handle my hair, and that's why it's a learning curve. Your hair is an intimate part of your body, and you not knowing how to handle it or take care of it is honestly just something that you have to learn, and you'll realize that it's really a gift, and it's something that is so special that a lot of people will never get to experience.
Why are you having
throwing a big party to celebrate your unborn child's assumed gender.
Because an alarming number of people still believe that gender is destiny. So back in the 1980s, this political cartoon caused a huge stir in the UK. And I think it's still incredibly effective at getting its point across, because this still looks ludicrous, right? Would never be so bold as to declare a baby a lesbian. Even today, would never purport to know a baby's sexual orientation. Except that we have, and we do claim to know these things all the time. Because no one who throws a gender reveal party thinks that all they are doing is announcing the presence of genitalia. No, a series of assumptions immediately follows. Starting with their favorite color, sure. But because we believe that gender is destiny, we're now mapping out the entire course of their lives. And so announcing it's a lesbian, while on its face is ridiculous, is actually no different than simply saying it's a girl. Because implicit, embedded in that announcement, is it's a straight girl. And there's a name for this phenomenon which comes to us from the philosopher and poet Adrian Rich: compulsory heterosexuality, which describes the various institutions and invisible social forces that naturalize the meaning of our gender and our sexuality, determine who and how we are allowed to love. And while I don't think that the majority of people who throw gender reveal parties are consciously, purposefully, intentionally participating in compulsory heterosexuality, they are anyway. Because just like other oppressive, exclusionary, hegemonic social systems like patriarchy or white supremacy, all that's required for their continuance, for your implicit support, is that you don't resist them. But I also don't think it's a coincidence that this tradition appeared and has picked up more momentum precisely at a moment when the relationship between sex and gender, gender and destiny, has never been more powerfully challenged. And so if you are organizing a gender reveal party and you are also opposed to patriarchy, white supremacy, compulsory heterosexuality, you might want to ask yourself whether it's a good idea. Maybe fill the confetti cannon with purple paper or spiders.
What does AFAB mean?
Assigned female at birth.
No, it means a Bob. I'm Ananaya, this is Gaydar. Today I'm going to find out if you're straight, gay, or homophobic. What's your name and what are your pronouns?
My name is Rose. My pronouns are she, they.
I couldn't tell from the overalls. What does each letter stand for in LGBTQIA?
Great question. Lesbian, bisexual,
No, and you were right to forget the G's, period. Clock that.
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, LGBTQ, queer, I, intersex, asexual?
Absolutely. Ding, ding, ding. How many gay bars are in the U.S.?
Gay or lesbian?
Just gay.
I don't know, 50 plus?
I'm going to give you another stab at that.
250?
There's 803 across the USA.
Damn.
How many lesbian bars do you think there are in America?
I don't know, 25?
It's 32. You have a good perspective on the world, I guess. You better decenter, man. I know that's right. Which of these people was a Fox News anchor and which one of them was a cast member on the L Word? No, I know. I was gagged too.
That's L Word?
Believe it or not, that's Megyn Kelly.
Oh my.
And I kind of hate that she's serving so much in this picture. She doesn't need those powers. Name a gay neighborhood.
Bushwick?
That's 10 points on the board. I was looking for something like explicitly queer, like West Hollywood, Provincetown. Bushwick is the gay mecca of Brooklyn. So you're definitely not straight. I don't think you're homophobic. You are from Jersey though, so we might need to double check that. Yeah. I feel like you're like a fun one. I feel like you're like demisexual with like a generous helping of non-binary lesbian.
Wow, I'm obsessed with that. I'm gonna start identifying as that exactly.
And that's our show!
People laugh at me until they find out what my Cybertruck can really do. That was it. That was the whole demonstration. To this day, I don't think we've seen a single Cybertruck successfully, properly off-road. Every video that's supposed to be like a cool video of the Cybertruck off-roading, the Cybertruck breaks, like in this one. Or this one, the Cybertruck gets destroyed by an F-150 Lightning. This one, it got stuck on a log. This one got stuck in the sand and had to be pulled out. This kind of iconic one at the beach, the time it got stuck in a little incline of snow. This one that was specifically built for off-roading and cool off-roading videos and broke almost immediately, and then broke some more into the Cybertruck. This one that could barely make it up an articulation ramp because there's no articulation. This one that could barely make it through some shallow water after every other car in the convoy easily made it through. This one that got stuck in a creek because it couldn't make it up either side of the creek once it was in the water. At this point, I would just love to see a Cybertruck that does legitimate off-roading without braking, or even one that can make it through a car wash without having to be towed.
Here's why the Cybertruck is the perfect mom and family car. First of all, huge back trunk. With the tonneau cover, you never have to worry about all your kids' stuff getting wet or your groceries. Everything stays nice and dry. Doors open to 90 degrees, which is super great for loading in kiddos. Even with 2 car seats in the back and my 6'3" husband in the front, I still got plenty of room. Another great mom feature is all the space in this truck. I love this tray down here, which is perfect for a diaper bag or a purse. And check this out, a hidden drawer for anything important. Wow. But best of all, you look like a total driving your kids around in this.
They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding dirty.
Did you know New York City has its own little Palestine? It's in a neighborhood in Brooklyn called Bay Ridge. I've never been there, so let's change that. First stop was a yacht, a Palestinian restaurant. This is my favorite restaurant. I usually go to their East Village location. They have lots of vegan and vegetarian options, which is perfect for me. My go-to order is the kusamasi, a traditional Palestinian dish, along with other traditional dishes like betinjan, zahir, and hummus. So yummy. And after our hefty meal, we needed to walk it off. So we walked along the waterside and there were these beautiful green parks. It was such a nice stroll. I especially love this overpass area. Would make a great photo shoot, music video shoot location. After a long stroll through the neighborhood, we headed to 5th Ave, where majority of the Arab stores and restaurants are. We spotted this edible store along the way and got some cookies. They were strong. There was so much visible support for Palestine everywhere, which was so beautiful. A halal Chinese restaurant? I don't think I've seen that before. We got some desserts at Nablus Sweets, which Nablus is a Palestinian city in the West Bank. Everything looks so good here. And last stop, Chocolate Factory, which is owned by Palestinian TikToker Moose. Since I'm vegan, I was really only able to get a latte, but my boyfriend got this ice cream cup thing. They offered us some free samples of their viral Dubai chocolate that's stuffed with pistachio kunafa, and I could not resist. I ate it, and it was delicious. That's a wrap for our Bay Ridge trip. Find some Palestinian businesses near you to support and donate to Palestinians struggling in Gaza if you can.
Good morning, everyone. Come spend a day with me in Palestine. First thing I did today was get ready and make my way to Ramallah. I went to this coffee shop called Antique Khana, and it's so nice. It's this little cute coffee shop and it's really aesthetic. I just really love coffee shops that have this kind of vibe, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just was here for a couple hours and did some work, and I ordered an iced coffee and a roast beef sandwich, and it was really good. If any of you guys have cafe recommendations in Ramallah, please let me know because I really want to explore as many as I can. And then I made my way to this place called Brookie's Cookies, and their cookies are so good. I got some for my cousin's birthday. Yeah, she's turning 18. And this is me walking to my cousin's house, and look at her, she's so cute. And then I had my other cousin give me a tarot reading, and thank God I had a good reading. And then just ate some chips and watched a movie, and that was my day. Bye-bye.
The fact that Kamala and Trump can be in the same room, on the same stage, is everything that you need to know about white privilege. Because you're telling me that a district attorney turned VP is even questioned about her legitimacy to a presidency, but the alternative is a felon/failed reality TV star. And granted, we lost the plot like 8 years ago, but seeing the clips of the debate, because it was time for all that, really reminded me that this is a serious affair. Like, seeing Kamala speak made me think, wow, finally, an adult. And still, her legitimacy is questioned. What what is the problem? She's way more qualified than him. The fact that she even has to be in the same space as him is actually the most insulting part of the whole thing. And I know I talk about the plight of Black women a lot on here, and I will keep talking about it because it's real, and we don't get advocated for as much as I think we should. But this is really the plight of Black women, not just in the US, but probably around the world, of being perfect, hitting all the accolades by everyone's standards. And still, you enter the room with a white man, a mediocre white man at that, and people still question whether you should be in that room. It's crazy.